me share my screen and finish our topic. So we ended talking about the importance of melatonin and how the production of melatonin is actually increased at nighttime and inhibited during daylight.
제자 넘버조 단신 안주 아니 감유 가르슈유레 시디 삼발라 단당 안주 민제 멜라토닌 단제네 아니 세몰 멜라토닌디 야 아니 로야 망르르르르 데바칙나 아니 니미 코니야 디 로야데 아니 참조책 유데바 아니 비게 강고책 유데바시든 데네 감유슈유스.
And what is really interesting is that a lot of people who have issues with sleeping for various reasons, stress, pain, physiological issues, or brain issues, they can actually buy melatonin as a pill that you take at night, and this helps you sleep.
단 넘버 2 페는 차샤나스 아니 안주 아니 니단 제베기 아니 강에 윤조 단다 수부기 네복토네 강에 유샤바이나레 다가나 신지기 엔레베기 네복토네 강에 유신조 임바이나레 아니 셈게 토네 강에 유신조 임바이나레 든조 텔리아 단다 안주 아니 가르치에 요레스 두삼발라 단다 안주 멜라토닌 딩 안주 메소도 빌딘데 사요레스 니코야기 체도메.
Good. So we have, I was going to end the first section, we had a break, but let's end our first section with another activity. And we'll spend about 10 to 15 minutes on this activity. So go ahead and join what is called, let me see here. This one is called Day 4 Morning Activity 2, the second activity.
제자 넘버 2 아니 당한주 아니 롱드 당부디기 단주도 라디오서와 오다디 아니 죽조 주인스 다디기 페이지 구글 인터넷 클래스룸 유인서 티나노라 아니 니마시베기 아니 제고니바세직 도시니 티샤 유스 디칸고네 엔델야 카마출라스 단쟁도 디체인스.
So this question only deals with technology. It could either be a cell phone, a tablet, TV, radio, a game, if you have anything. This is the only thing that I'm asking about, technology, okay?
제자다 넘버서 디 지와도 미스 카왈라 칸네 아니 컨디슈 요레스 라바 임바이나 아니 투제리단데 케지시기 요레스 스타트 렌자 고사 디데차 카바 임바이네레 TV 임바이네레 다가나시 디메임베다 칸다 조 아니 투제리단제니 엔티바디 아니 미스 칸 두스니 티낭기 요레스 단다디 제구디단제네.
So we'll spend a few minutes logging in. A lot of you are already in. We'll spend about 10, 15 minutes, answer the question, and then we'll go through some responses, and you'll see why this is an important question.
제자다 넘버 2 안디 토네 아니 까마추종가 스타야체 안테네 안주초 렌디체 아니 디네 넘버 2 아니 디나 티바드 주테데 카르카리 유메데 디나 통용 그레스 제바 라소 넘버 2 라소아.
So remember, I'm only asking about technology, nothing else.
아니 결혼sol라 지와다한테 주제마도 심바디 계제케게 책임해서 주제랑갈. Group. So they are supposed to walk in a group, right? Not individually.
Yes. Each table can be a group. Yes, they can share. Each group can share answers.
Number ruka gitonde chene digi taano mi gesusu mai bache. Chusumba kalchidi da kuch. Ana khaba du beju kar karta chale de Facebook ka jeta ha dita ad lagi है आने हो शाला PlayStation share sa social media de hame तुझे मारे पेशेंट देवा ये मारे तुझे रां लोले रां थोने So they are not supposed to write such as social media platform like a Facebook and all these things. Only technology.
No, just whatever they're using to access, Facebook or whatever social media. What's important is the type of technology that they're using.
Okay. 아니 결혼서 단단 모델에서 저 지속이 자제된데 표주 단계 여바이나 다 디케션 인사 말에 저디 표주 땅하게 체도 주제 가래 맨날 가봐 유닛 따기 위해 롤레 유닛 따기 위해 주제랑래도 다 가식 디티와 단계도 가세 보세요. 장사인데. 오케이. laptop TV do da radio do da ne de nyingi yamare video nye do da sanju nye de da chik da mana mambu yorwa okay manche dingi da ni kar da laptop tablet PlayStation air conditioning on geyser da da shaman chi dingi yingirangi hamume da 세문 라기 열다 에어 컨디셔너 오케이 yes 디디기도 살로다 타노 나 So this question, when you say in the night, does it specifically refer to before going to bed or the night?
It could be that they wake up at midnight and they use their technology again. So overall, throughout the night, before sleeping, or if they wake up at night.
생기 다 링을 차상도 시네 니 세제 생 버룰 니 세제 가바다 갈라고 창교나래 많이 공긴 세문 나눠라 가르 베주 당교나 아 Lungo. So one interesting question. So should we consider usage of bulb and fan, light bulb?
Yes, light bulbs, yes. Fans, since they don't really emit light, you don't have to include them. But light, yes.
Light bulb la dozu tedi tsi gu yores. Dozu tedi tsi nindi yores. Fan din seni peju tangi dan digi sir. So if they turn on fan throughout the night, then they can include that part as well.
If they wake up at night and they run, yes.
Dan seni ya lanche ani ni se je tinde lungo pa ala so ba tinde ki thunje chungu yo na. Da lungo dozu tedi tsi nindi sir.
And at this point, the groups should be fairly close to finishing.
What?
At this point, the groups should be fairly close to finishing.
Ani number zo choose choose ruga choose sarwa ruga madungwe tanda choose two months tanda choose 2 months negat choose se ruga sama choose me lungo ntsen la suzu ya ni se je tinde pa se chigi na tsine digre laps number sama choose yes they all have finished and completed.
Anybody want to share their responses?
Number two, Rukang Nalo ne Churanzu ki lady Nyamju Chia ki Doba Yung in the US, Nyamju Chiala. Rukagi le Chik Song ya Ruka Swim, okay. Group number 3.
Okay.
Ani ngazo Rukana la direshata, Namju ngazo Wanda Chenla, Ani Cheta, Duse Damada Mambuduran, Chanyum ki Duse do Shai ngazo Rukana. Din Salata ngazo cover Vijeta, Ani Chizuchi the Chagaki, the Zedo Chagado.
Choose
Chig the
Chega, okay.
Tene laptop to Vijeta, the Chanyum Kitanishana, Kama Sumju do Chagaduru. Tene iPad Vijeta, the Anity, Kama Shipshanga.
iPad Kama Shipshanga, okay.
Lungur Vijeta, the Kama Sumju.
Lungo Kama Sumju.
And look Vijeta, the other than a letter, Roboza, dim light, the other low way chunjun jogging. What the Vijeta did, Tatsenga, Hashan, Senga Parsha.
Okay. So their group individually, the usage of the technology differs in terms of the how long they use, and so they did some sort of average, and so the smartphone they use in the night roughly 1 hour, 1.5 hours, and then the laptops 30 minutes roughly, and then the iPad kama khaju somba 30 minutes, and then light bulbs, dim light throughout the night.
Wow! So they keep the light on at night.
Dim light, not the very bright light. Yes. Okay.
Perfect. Very nice. Very interesting. And I will talk about the differences between each of those electronics, between mobile phones, laptops, and iPads. Any other groups want to share?
Number the Churanzogi, the Tuje Zuti, any Peugeot Nanda, Manda, Yungu, the Dingazusko, Ni Ruga Shemba, the Yamjing, you have cosons. Ruga Shemba Swimmer, Ruga Tambo in Beswimbe. Ruga, Shiva, Ruga Shiva, go ahead, Sonda.
ngazu rwa jiba go ani khabachi ani nyamachila ani chase chi do ani ni paral peje to eche ani iPad la so ba ani chase chi ni pala ani dise peje to eche
iPad dirwa
ani tanda ngaso ni chi anyu ja ji wa nanye se wote de ni che kanjala ani de peje to kendo sra che kanjachi ani lule de chase chi ni pala ani peje to eche ani AC do ni lungo do ni kola la suba ani che kanjala what the this to yes
okay So laptop, phone, iPad, the average time they use is between 1 to 2 hours, and then some of their group, some members from their group use earphone throughout the night. Earphone, maybe listening music or something, and then also air condition and fan that keep turning it on throughout the night.
Okay, excellent. Very interesting. So I'm just going, thank you for sharing this. And yeah, I'm going through the groups, and a lot of the similar responses. We have phone, tablets, some earphones, computers, and some people, most people actually, do use the fan for some time or the whole night.
Ani number two di nyamju chewa to chenas and dinemba number two gi ani piju ta man che di chigwa daw che khaba da ani lole da da zu de cha de gwas ani dine man che di da lungu di ani chen kan la pa de so do de gi ne dan cha de dus.
So let me share my desktop again. Here we go. So again, thank you for sharing the responses. You can always go back and check what other groups mentioned. And by now, we have established that melatonin follows this sort of pattern across the night.
The number two di nyamju chewa de ya ani to chenas. Da dine ma nga zu melatonin gi ka ke she yin sambala ani di chuzi ni chu shi gi nano la ndre ji gi thone da parcha ji gi thone do sin du yore se dires.
So if we take sort of this cycle, right, during the daylight, when there is sun, there is very little melatonin. It does not get released. And in the middle of the night, anywhere from 8 p.m. to, let's say, 8 a.m., we have this increase and decrease of melatonin.
Chezanda number so dine ma piri ding na lo siba imba ina ani melatonin lozek di karisul sambala ani nyime khon la ya nima da zo yudu sambala ani loze de ma uche dine ma gonda sen chuzi jeba ne ani shoge chuzi ani jeba padole ya ti ringin semugi tanda tuyin di na la melatonin loze de parse ya shu chimbu ya ligi yobache dine ma yanjo nyime khon le yudu sambala ani ma cha du yu de ba de was.
And our activity that we just did, the reason why I asked to specify the type of technology that we use is because depending on what we use, either, we have, let me show you a tablet here, or a phone, right? They all emit different types of light.
Chezanda number zolia ani taring gela korangi ani chiwa di truje dandre ni chiwa tang soa chiwa di tang goe gi jumzen khari chinre lawa yimba ina tanang anzu ani trude dinde gi tablet dinde yimba ina re taga na shinchi gi ani khaba de yimba ina re tunzu tre de chasang gi ani tanang anzu we lugu yo rest we da rinda manda we de rinda manda de lu yung yo rest ta kan tu chasang gi.
So in this graph, and this is something that I would like to spend a few minutes on, you can see we have a phone, a smartphone, a tablet, and a computer.
Ta number so digi paridina la teba yimba ina ani ngazu dinna la khaba che taga na shinji gi ani today che tene ba today sin kanda the tablet ngazu deblo sa tene yo di che tene ma ani ngazu ani lole di zuti number to see do us.
And on the bottom, we have the different times of the day, anywhere from the morning, afternoon, and night.
Chezanda number so dinna la siba yimba ina di wo gi sham dinna la ngazu tuje di tendi gi res da tuje pa shoge che dine ma nyingong che an dine chu ani gonda gen semo gi tuje di do sin tengu yo res pirina no.
And here we can see the different effects that each of these electronics, a computer, a tablet, and a smartphone, have on the effect of production of melatonin.
Chezanda number so dinalola ani piri digi ani tanda di piri digi karitungu yore lava yimba ina ani tuje manda nimi kongda nimachi ki tuje manda wa tige ki nanola ani melatonin kidun cheyagi ani pige ki kidun cheye jorwa diliya ani shukje manda wa tige yode ba ditungu yore tuje dige nano tanda manzo khaba da tuje du kenchene.
So if you study this set of lines for the next minute or two, I will allow you to talk about it within your table for about 2 to 3 minutes, and then tell us which of the three has the highest impact on the production of melatonin.
제자다 넘버즈드니 아니 까마치기닝 나로 넘버스를 두시네 까미슈주 주두체 주연이스 주두체 디게 나로 조 가르체 구구 요레스도 잠발라 아니 디게 긴투제 디게 나로 아니 멜라토닌 키드윈 체야래야 아니 슈진 체쇼 용에 조르와 슈진 체쇼 칭에디 가르레스에 디차데기 요레스.
So discuss it within your table, look at the differences, and then perhaps one group can tell us which one they think has the highest impact.
제자 넘버즈다 아니 루카 나로라 까마니 숨주 주미체 산에 디게기 나로 아니 멜라토닌 키드윈이야 아니 슈진 체쇼 용에디 아니 가르레샤스 딜렌데 구구 요스타 간다디나 저런도 삼수기 도네.
Note that the black solid line signifies the phone, the smartphone. The blue dashed line is a tablet, and the gray dashed line is a computer.
제자 넘버즈 투나고에 질 가르 구구 요레스도 잠발라 팅나고디 아니 카바딘 중구 요바체 아니 르제딘 중 칼소와디 중구 요바체 슝진 아니 디네마 아니 단다디 ngombu digi tananga ju dan chuji de losa do jorwa tanga ju ipad so do jorwa hondiche di gray digi ani sori chawu digi kharin chungu yore sidu zambala an lole gi di shujin din chungu yores.
So start discussing for about 2 to 3 minutes, then we can go back.
Ana baso di trimi kama chigi nisna che tene chu ni nga ju di che yuen yin senjo. Number of reasons, do you
Okay, so
yes, they are done.
Good. So anybody, perhaps one group can answer which one you think has the highest impact?
Number two, chance to ruka chigi sidige nalola ani pige da shukjen namasuna shukcheshu yunge di karidi imbadi ani len sorochis suimba. Amo mige insert tabge kursish mige lobsan. Tablet has the biggest impact on the production of melatonin from their group. 6.
I would agree. And which one? Another group wants to tell us which one has the least impact.
다 루가 셴바치기스 디게게 나노나 아니 슈진 총쇼 용에 카르샤스 디송로시스 디게 나노
computer
smart ale computer
ngedeina thuzu sumle keba dos koran shoge chodu jungni ne dumba bad ziwaina kaba dusho zidwa shoge da nga shoge sore chana kongro chana kong ziwaina kaba dusho resha da dene shoge chodu dumba ne je ane gonda chodu ngawa bala ziwaina ne danda di tablet do che computer dusho re do gonda chodu ngawa ne jung manye badu de la ane tablet resha.
So from his understanding, actually, the impact from these 3 devices varies in different time scale.
Yes.
So in the night, yes, it seems the phone has the largest impact. And during the from 12 a.m. to 12 a.m. to maybe daytime here, the laptop has the phone has the highest impact, and then in the night the tablet has the highest impact. So basically it differs, their impact differs in a different times, frame.
Absolutely, right? Absolutely. And the one, yes, I would agree. And the one that we have to really concern with is at night, because remember, melatonin is produced at night. So if we have to worry about, shifting our circadian rhythm, our cycle, we have to be careful which technological tool we're using at night. And it seems that the tablet at night has the largest impact.
제자 number 2 아니 개인 소마 다가란디 차대기요레스 다 임바이네야 nganzu기 다 센스 제고사기 제조데 가르차대기요레스도 참발라 아니 생기 갑을 차대기요레스 생기 갑라 nganzu 센스 제고에게 좀생 가르라나 디기 nganzu 아니 니 고주글라 아니 튼준 콘티도 슈진 체고요와 디기 차네 차대기요레스 디르테 바임바이나 nganzu 디나노라 아니 탄다 태블릿 탄다 nganzu Introduce sobre tanda nganzu dizuti de shujin cha de duas tin du zambalan sen ya nganzu an truje khare pheju tangu yeme dizuti de an chik samlu tangu cha de res.
What is really interesting is that don't worry too much about the details, but different technological tools give off different types of light, and the different wavelengths have a different impact on how melatonin is produced.
Okay. Then number 2 dinalo yanchik shibsan nezu duzutedi shibiji sense of nangwa keyo mares. So dinalo la karitungu yore labdu sambala ane pige ane truje mandrawa gitone we mandrawa jite de gyo de bachigna we duzuliya labtha mandrawa yode ba de cha de gyo res. Ane we ge labtha mandrawa tigi ane nganzu mandrawa tigi ane melatonin kidun cheya ane shuje mandrawa tigi yode ba de cha de gyo res.
So you have to be very careful with, for example, tablets that give off a lot of blue light. You have to be very careful with these types of things at night.
제자 딜르드 잠발라 number 2 아니 투섭 나고야 찍디 가르차기 요레 수디 잠발라 탄다 nganzu tablet ri 탄다 드주디 페지 당고야 페 투섭 나고야 스디 왜 ngombu디 징도 왜 글랍타 단데니 티기 케지시기 요르바 온 드주디 디기 아니 피겔 melatonin 기dun나 슈진 슈체 소기 요레스.
Yeah. So this would have ended our first session. So let me just go ahead and quickly switch into my other PowerPoint, which is
number 2 tanda digi ani nganzu kari chagi yores di sambala nganzu ani terini mugi lomtun tambodi dusine tanda del tudu yores ta dine ma ani nganzu ta tande globin di kalma komba pedre is
one new share. That's tab 2.
one question.
Yes.
단당한수 카반능로 건다디 카반능로 디 나이트 모드 스위치도 어디게 아니 이펙트
조도기나 메나스
조도인.
So in the smartphone you can set the light into the night mode.
Yes.
Yeah, and does that has some sort of any differences in terms of?
Absolutely. Phones do have a night mode, and if you were to use the night mode, they give off light that has a less impact on melatonin production.
제가 디 다가란 레스 켜나 송가 다가나 신지게 아니 nganzo khaba khanlia thanda di dia yorwa night mode khana dan semugi di phasha we chungdu yorwa din sambala ani thanda nganzo phigela melatonin kidunda ana shugjin chingin du thede pha nyungru tangyo sodo charu yores.
So I suggest if you were to use technology at night, switch it to night mode and try to use either a computer or a tablet that has a night mode.
제가 number 2 아니 개인 권한기 아니 공수 송에 가리 인세는 결혼 전 세물라 카바리 표주 단두 잠발라 아니 단다디 아니 나이트 모드 칼라단 세무기 지기 레수저와 호디가라 파카파 뻬체네 디 디로시스 아니 케시 로레나 단당간줄 태블릿 딘데 표주 당고 유나 딘줄이야 단다 딘데 디야 윤요 딘줄인데 표주 당나 야고 요레스.
Very good question. So I switched to our Tibetan translated PowerPoint, and we're going to spend the next hour talking about certain extreme cycles that we can see in humans.
number 2 ani thandang anju ding nalo la keje kari share su sambala ani da namju chi gyunde mayimbe ani che gyunde mayimbe ne dan tenje gi nalo la ani ngaju ni gi khoju dan ne dan keje share.
So for example, we're going to look at humans in space, and that's something that we don't always think about. If you go to space, your exposure to daylight changes drastically.
Ta number 2 pena cha na kari cha ngore su sambala nganzo an khadu gi ni da panan re jorwa an dizu te cha de gi res ta dizu te di ani nganzo khari re su sambala ta nganzo namju nima chi gi nano la nime we pose jorwa pose di juwa di ani po yu hajang chimbu ru gi res ta manda ba shuk chimbu shibji cha yung gi res.
So for example, we have an astronaut here sleeping upright, which is not something that we think about if we were to sleep, right? This is a very different way of going through our circadian rhythm.
Cheza da dilu sambala number 2 dinalo namri ba jin duwas namri ba de ani du sine pa simku de du tin duwas ta du te khar re su sambala nganju namju juningi nyedan da ani chigi tunjung khondre gi chane shibiji gi ta mandawa chimbu inde ba nidan de cha de gi res.
So how, the moment that we send humans to space, how does that rhythm change in space? And we're going to focus on this for the next few minutes.
Ta number 2 ani da di indu sambala ani danda du te panangi namri ba du te ya tandu sambala ani khunju gi tunjung khondre di ani yuwa khandes dangi yores e di res di thole ya nganju thri kacha khashi ji dus kama khashi ji dus tuje tanche ani limushu yins.
So if we think about it, if you were to be in space, all those cues that follow a 24-hour cycle completely disappear.
Cheza da ngaju di samuchi kharin khongu yore su sambala namju ina ngaju chuze ni sashi gi phege ani ndre gi da twingen da jorwa ngenda tangen da jorwa oda di ani panangi khadu du the ya le su sambala tinde gi ani da twingen gi dadi chingi du the di kyone menge chanu yore sta khanda meba da chigwa resta khanda.
And by the way, in case you were wondering, the reason why I show this information about space is because I utilize NASA's research for your activities and for the lectures that I'm giving you all.
Cheza number 2 tanda di pari di tuyungu di jumzen zoji kharini laba imba inas tanda NASA chopa gi ani tanda namri ba choliya dosti shimju che de tena an number 2 gi tanda ngazu gi shimju gi lega kharsa cheguji te soa o dinzu the di ani ga chilu che dan chibon da buji cha de gi di chane dungu yes.
A lot of the research concerning circadian clocks comes from NASA because they have an interest on how their astronauts are behaving in space.
Cheza da dilu sambala zo tanda ngazu an tunjin khori dan jebegi ane nedan du te zo thoma yongsa dawde khane yungu yore se de sambala tanda ngazu jushi jora shimju gu thone ani NASA ne yungu yore NASA de zo kharchin ne resu de sambala ani khunzu namri ba du te panana tang gu de sambala an didan jebegi ani ko ne du ke chimbu yor was.
So for example, in space, we no longer have a 24-hour cycle. The sun rises and goes down every 90 minutes.
Chezan dilu sambala da nganzu ige panangi nano le se sambala an dilia chuzi ni zashi gin khoju de yo mares chuzi ni zashi gin khoju de yo mare ani khunzu gi nima da khoju di kharcha de gru se sambala nima shawa da lawa di kama gubju re nano la nima shawa da lawa gi tinde gi nedang cha de yo res nima sha yuan da landro tinde.
So try to imagine having this cycle where the sun goes down up and down every 90 minutes. It would very definitely change your circadian cycle.
Cheza dilu sambala da kyurang khoyu dinde jig nano lo yebe wan tam da khoyu pena cha na kama guju nano nima sha yuwa da ani nima ani kama guju gi jele landro nge tinde gi nedang ji kala ani yoba himba ina ani digi tunjin khondre gi chane hangsa gi yuwa chimbu jin dogu yores.
And the way that this is solved, this issue with having to deal with such changes, is that before astronauts are sent to space, they are adapted to these changes before their space missions.
Cheza da dilu sambala ani nganzu gi panangi panali ya tanda namri ba du chedi ani khadu juni tandu sambala ani khunzu pegele ya tunju yuya ge thonda la ani mandru ngwele ya ani khunzu tanda di juwale ya tunju yuya ge tanchi gi kuyu tunye jorwa, suye jorwa, hon dire chegu yore, chigi yore, sta kanda.
So if you could imagine, right, we can create this habitat where we are having day, night every 90 minutes, but also we could make different variations, such as the 25-hour daylight in day-night cycle in Mars, which is very different from planet Earth.
Cheza diladi zambala da nganzu pena chashana, ani juwachi kari yore sidu zambala, ani chuzi kacha nishung nalwa, kacha kama guchung nalwa, dinde yuwa da mewe ki dinde kin kuyu tunya yores. Taka nashin chigi nganzu, ani chigi sa mimi ki 25, did you say the 25 hours day cycle in
Yes,
Mars?
in Mars, the day-night cycle is 25 hours, not 24 hours.
Cheza taka nashin chigi, ani nganzu sa karasi gore, ani mimi ki, sa mima ki teni ya tanda nganzu tunzin kondru ki jungo de chuzi nisabshi mayimba, chuzi nisanga cha degi yores.
And if we want to send humans to Mars, which we hope to do one day soon, we need to create this 25-hour cycle within the human body.
Cheza da nganzu ani da nimachik da kandan jobole dugu yores ta Mars le dugu yonde ke shegi yorda te indu chambala an nganzu da dinde chik yungu ya subyu gi nano la mi gi subyu nano dinde jin khoju chik da kanda nganzu di je sogu yores ta kanda juwatan.
Okay, so we have another activity concerning sleep awake in astronauts and us. So this is going to be our day 4 afternoon activity 1. And we have the link on the bottom. And I'm going to stop sharing for 1 second.
Da number so tering nganzu di yan chegu jing tunen go tsuye ins di chegu di tanda nganzu ani ni shibi gi ningung gi chegu tangbu se de dinalo US number so pa du nyamju che ins.
I'm going to put this in the chat, and you can also find it in the Google Classroom. So
Yeah.
Go ahead, and this is a day 4 afternoon activity. People are already joining.
Number so that dinalo Google gi insida yu dinalo juishene di pamne chero chita.
So go ahead and within your tables, within your groups, answer these questions. Spend about 10 minutes, share your answers within the table, and then we'll see what people write. We'll share the responses throughout the room.
The number so di kama choosing nano la choran zu ruka nano di che di lende na sharo chis. Honda zu insert ta de cheba. Ruka di nano la tanda di kache sa imbe number so. Tanda di Google Classroom nano ne ni shibe gi ningung gi chego se jores ningung gi activity 1. Raso. Tadi nganzu namri pada nganzu gi dire doa. Tangbo de ho.
3년 거라 잡기는 3년 거는 거 저지로.
어디래? 조세오라니. 왜?
3년 거 왜? 말다. 근데 스페이스 나타 거라 잡아 상관 가능이 도고 걸어. 근데 그 3년 동에서는 3년 주는 거 3년 거라긴 3년인 거 제일 거.
그 아메나고 란자 대딜렘베.
정말도 꼭 이거 있나 거
뭐야? 사자질 란자 대대나. 왜?
스페이스 하고 하러. 스페이스는 반한 개는 내도 안 반한 개 대기더라고. 반한 개 내리.
말해.
숨숨 쥐고 있었다.
이바데다 좀 Unless you do it
나구나 두세 함하고 이게 이니슈라죠라. 이게 양구나 이거야 두세 뒤에 니마고 미스테가.
changing in day and night. Kama kupchi no ni mashara ngiyo.
가림바 전수 낸다.
순간로 되죠.
제가 숨바드니 저도다.
Are they doing good? Are they answering? Good. Rising and setting of the sun, and spend the night. Gravity.
사자 사자 가가잖아.
environment development korean de wonja be me ga je ta jino je na kamba je wonja na ni me jong ge do wa de nga
Somebody la yana ja.
ba de la len jo ma ta de
사자 베드코나 디
somebody manzo mo su nyo
칸에 오죠래 칸에 오죠 남주
저런 나라에 오지 마.
de to ka ji ne
아, 로디다 봐, 니코.
주도 참아서 한다. 아는. 다 가르쳐야 돼. 아는. 스마트 브레인에 있는 사람들 공부제제 가사가 니에로 와도 되죠. 브레인에 있는 사람들. 아, 릴리나나.
About a few more minutes. Do they need more time?
Yes.
Okay, that's fine. Not a problem.
남버서 같이 참인도 가만 같이 고기도 한다.
We got plenty of time, so no worries.
아. 네. 서로 니 거야 되는. 이제 니 서로 니 거야 되다 이제 저도 니 현재 들어와 강수 인조도 말아 봐. 니 해야 돼 인저다. 진도까지도 쉬우치죠. 소리. 아. 지금 장관. 진도 사서. 아, 네. 진도 사서. 나버서 마상의 유에. 마상의 유에. 참아 줬어. 진도 참았어. Okay. Come and 6 here, right? So one group need maybe 1 or 2 minutes, 1 minute maybe.
Yeah. No, we're perfect. There's plenty of time.
Mm-hmm.
I really like the stories on sleeping in weird places.
Đâu đi gì vậy? Phải gì vậy? Yeah, number so that dig to a chingbe. Okay, yes.
Excellent. No, I am very impressed, at your experiences, especially, sleeping in the border, sleeping in glaciers, sleeping in the cold. Not something that we can get used to easily, right?
Tan number so the lane the gengi pig see the yorwa and Joranzo and pig sanzam da and a chicken charom yusa da and a chignamji tamu shivijil da dus sim gutuyagi, near gutuyagi, nedan mambujitus, the sambal that deep namjung and juning chone Nuena Yumade and Chadigi or was.
And even, talking about what you think astronauts experience and what we experience at night is very different, right? They experience zero gravity, free falling, and we experience many, many different things that are not what astronauts experience.
Chesa de ledu sambala yan dig namri bada ane nganzu ni paru le pha durche di ke je shen du sambala ane nganzu nyongwe ki chane manda mambu shibi jung de gi orwas ane koran zo le pena cha chana chik tenshu gi ta mewe so do chik da ane yang nganzu dwala yobata da khanda nganzu ni paru le ya ane manda we chembu manda we gi ane da nisu ni maso ne de mambu shibi cha de gi orwas.
Right, so let me go back and share my screen here. 1 second. Share. That's step 2. So thank you for your responses. They're very insightful and very, very interesting. Quite.
Number 2, lende na wa thoche da du te ne pe mi se be khar se gore. Ani koto ani ja chemblen yo de batende cha de shas.
So, for example, we certainly, hear about, stories that have not let us sleep very well. For example, migrating, that is something that can essentially keep us from sleeping and disrupt heavily our circadian rhythm in our body.
Chezanda number so tanda digi ani tanda nganzu ani khon ni ju shege ni ju da dom da khanda ni ju da dan jene an tene nganzu ani ni gi pigela ni dan jewa yushin jogi ta ne de mambu shivijik da da ju teli ya shukjen le yundi sambala ani digi tanda nganzu tunjin control ya da shukjen chambu shiviji le yongu yo resta khanda.
And perhaps if one or two of you want to share with us, when you're having issues sleeping, let's say you are in pain or you're stressed or something, what are some techniques that you use to fall asleep? If any, I would like to hear from maybe one or two people.
Chezanda number so pena chashana ane choranzo ane ruka karina chigna lola ni kudu pena ni kuma tu weekends chigna su imba inere kari imba inere da khanda ane semge imba inere ni kuma tu watende yungu yorwa ta digndre ge kap de ya ane ni khoya ge chedu thalam khari pheju tang yo se jorwa on din number so group chig ruka chig ni na lola sona dig dos.
So one or two of you?
One of number so sonda ni kuma to kangen tebe kapso ni khoya gi chedo thalong gar peju dang gi se jorwa to tede la ya shenya debloya and group number 1 said they sometimes when they have difficulty to fall asleep they do listen music and also they do read books and all these things.
Excellent.
And one of the monks
Ukdonglen says Ukdonglen says to
Udongle Gomjadi. And one of them said that if you do the meditation, breathing meditation, that also helps you to falling asleep.
Right. Absolutely. Absolutely.
And samlo ganjung khurya deso kathapche gothapche samlo chigrang ga ta.
So try to not lose your minds into some sort of a discursive thought or just regulating these wandering that also helps to fall asleep
Sure.
better.
Absolutely. Thank you. And really, you know, we have to utilize all kinds of different techniques. I know using or turning the TV on, or perhaps putting earplugs. Sometimes that helps to alleviate all the noise. Reading helps me personally fall back asleep. So we can use all kinds of different techniques, you know, to regain our ability to sleep.
아니 나버서 아니 단다디 손에 또 쮸바델라 토체나 스타가라 아니 삼성 아주니 마구이 거서 암줄니에 되다 아니 삼성 데블로엘라 소바틴데다 아다 딘데 간다 탈론 남메 나소지기 토네 아주마 니 쿠야리아 아니 펜도 연구요레스.
So now we have to, you know, let's change gears a little bit and let's talk about what happens when the whole circadian clock goes wrong, completely wrong.
Could you repeat that?
Yeah, so now we're going to talk about what happens when the whole rhythm, circadian clock goes wrong, it goes bad.
Goes wrong, okay, goes wrong, okay. 아니 다 나버서 당 안주 티네 치기 카쇼 더우지 파 셴바 칸레 뼈제 당 안주 계제 가르시에 인시도 잠발라 아니 안주 아니 단다 튠중 코드 딜라 아니 베드 코나 따치기 추번 더우지 템네 아니 내가 따다 마징에 더우지 차바 임바나 아니 가르치기 레시데 디스.
So for example, we have the suprachiasmatic nucleus, but sometimes our genes that control this are mutated or they fail to function correctly.
단지 넘버 종 아주 가르케지 셰요레 수디 잠발라 안누딘 sombuda 레베기 나노 차시직 단데네 케지 셰요와스 아니 감갈 가리 용구요레 수디 잠발라 아니 아주 리제기 토네 아니 니주르 총체 디기 켄체네 야 아니 피게라 투진 단다 튼중 컨트롤 투진 테야데 용데기요 레스 리제랑 투잉네.
So for the next few minutes, I'm going to talk about something called fatal familial insomnia.
단나버서 디네다 테 까마카시지 그레니야 겔라 코랑기 아니 네디온 가르다데니 케지시야이 라바임바이나 단당안주 아니 familial 세기 아니 닙쿠마도비기 아니 나자 fatal race 다 간단 신조야게 된데긴 진이지 차데기요 레스 대단데네 케지시야이스.
This is an illness which is actually really rare and is a genetic disorder.
다디 나자지임바 칸실라 나자디 페미시비게 꾼부 윤조게 나자지 차데기요 레스 대양 가르톤 윤고요 레스디 잠발라 아니 리제게 나자지 차데기요 레스.
This particular disorder affects the thalamus, which is another portion of the brain, right? And it completely disrupts our circadian clock.
제자다 디기 아니 리제텔리아 튠치 리제텔리아 아니 니주 조마이나 튠 테사데 가왈 테기 요레스디 삼발라 레베 나노게 간조 리불레 조아 차시주아 오 딜링고 레스 딜 튠 테윤디 삼발라 아니 간조 카르차도고 요레 라바임바이나 튠중 콘드디 아니 베드 코나다 투진 션도고 요레스.
So this rare illness is usually, not always, but usually seen in people between 40 and 60 years old.
제자다 딘데기 나자데 만체 용사 아니 로제기 차네 케제셰바 이나스 다 땅과다 차기요 말데 간다 만체 로디 로제 니 쉽주네 투주버로 용데게요 레스.
And here we have a representation of what the brain looks like once you are affected by this particular illness.
다딜 다링간주 단디 아니 레베기 파리디 도마 아니 안점도 셰데 파리디 유스 디 나노라 카르투에레 레비 삼발라 아니 피게 레베기 차셰기 토네 나자딜레 윤두 삼발라 아니 레베기 아니 차셰 코란리아 아니 슈진 칸데 칸데 티기 요레세데 남바 칸데 용구 요레세데 디레스.
So in this figure here you see healthy brain activity, and once you are diagnosed, over time 7 months after diagnosis you lose a lot of brain activity, and you could see it looks really yellow and blue, very little brain activity compared to a healthy brain.
달라와 페나 차시나 딩안주 가르차데기 요레세디 삼발라 아니 디미 아니 탕부 요신 조기 아니 나자 맹에기 레베기 파리드레스 다디 카르레세디 삼발라 아니 레베기 아니 나자 요딘 조체 디네마 다와 제기 제리아 아니 나네 니주 총총 조기 펜테바 임바이나 단다 디기 나노라 아니 단다 가주 마오다 세부든 조 테데기 레베 나노라 제고 가주 유메 제고 가주 베기 유메 간다 액티브 가주 차기 유메 세데디 차기 요레스 안 디네 나바조 테 윤디 삼발라 아니 디니니 포로 두바 임바이나 레베기 아니 제고 페야드 조 테데 아니 시비지마 아니 냠루고 요데바 lebegi ani pege active cha jorwa on the trade ni fibi nyam rugyo de badina thongdi res.
And people with this particular illness, some of the symptoms include, well, certainly a disruption in your sleep.
Ani da nasa dinde po sanjo gi ani neda del karicha gi yore sidi zambala ani neda chigdi ni le chujin the de cha de yore sini da wa kuma do ad.
Weight loss, rapid weight loss in your body.
Ani chigi da jize de cha ba zama jize jogo chan ro yo ra on di cha de yore sine da.
Even inability to balance when you're walking or when you're moving about.
Ani kyoran jin gujo dang gi yoba inare komdru rugu yoba inare da kanda subu ta da je tonyam bi kana chu nyasong che thoye jo ra on dunzu theli yan chujin the rugu yores.
And another symptom is high blood pressure.
Ani yanju neda shemba ji kari cha yung yores de sambala ngazo chashi yan thorun ro de cha de yores.
And unfortunately, even though this is a rare illness, people with the illness, this particular illness is almost always universally fatal. So people die from this illness.
People back to what?
Yeah, so when people that are diagnosed...
After diagnosis, okay, I got it, okay.
Universally, they die from this illness.
Okay. That di ladi sambala nam ani kharre sudi sambala that di tab maleba chiglas an naza de nat sabi jela ani thanda ani lokhashi gi jeg na nola that di chinan din chineri do shidu do menju me sarwa khanda ani lokhashi gi jeliya an neta de ngu sin sabi naza de ngu sin sabi jeliya ani thong ru yo res.
And what happens here is that we understand some of the causes for FFI, for the fetal familial insomnia. So for example, yeah, go ahead.
당아주 디카르레 수디 잠발라 안 나사디 아니 죽진 중앙에 유진 카르레 시데 두주트데 가주 아니 니주 템부지 신데 요레스.
And what happens here is that we understand that there is a mutation in a gene, PRNP gene, which results in this particular illness.
제자다 딜레디 잠발라 가주 카르 요레 수디 잠발라 아니 단다디 나자 용딩에 두줄이야 쪼디 단나가주 아니 리제 PRNP gene 레즈도와 on the dilia ani karsugore ani ninju chongje shukjen theche de yongyo res.
And even though we know that there's a mutation in this particular gene, we still do not know the complete function of the protein of this particular gene.
Ani thanda digi rize dilia thanda ani karsugore ani ninju chongje ani digi chen de yongyo ba inaya ani digi chele cha sawaji karre se de di 리제디기 첼레 차상와 카르레 세디에디 아니 가조 단도에 차상와지 신기요 마레스.
What we do know, even though there's still that we don't know, we do know that this particular gene is responsible for the protection of the neurons in the brain.
제자 단 이내 니주 차상와지 신기메바 이내 양간조 카레 하고 요레스디 삼발라 딘데기 리제 셰다바테스 아니 좋은 겐티 카릴레단 카리난 데와 요레 레디 삼발라 안 레베게 왕자 타주 투주 송조 치야난 데와 요딘 조기 겐티 요딘 조기 안 딘데 차디기 요레세디 간조 하고 요레스다 간다.
And what is also really interesting is that in the history of families with this particular illness, you may have seen something similar to this. This is known as a pedigree.
Da pena chashana nabaso di chi khara haku yore sidu sambala ane ngazo naza po sanjo gi tenjo gi ane nami gi jorwa ta nami gi tana ngazo pedigree sidu ma juban ma ching rodan jorwa odi cha de yores.
And what we can see here is we have males and females in different generations, and we can keep track of who in this cluster is affected by this particular illness.
제자다 디나나 나바서 가지고 가리 통구 요레스디 잠발라 당부데 아니 다 포모니도 세 테네소 아니 랍 당부세 테네마 랍 니바체 데기 나노라 아니 가지고 가리 통구 요레르디 잠발라 나자 데기 아니 쇼진레 데기 요데바 디하고 요레스.
Something that we will learn next year is the genetics and how to read pedigrees. But for now, understand that the shaded figures are those people with the illness.
Ta number so ani lo jeme ge nalo la ani nganzo resident de ke je indu sambala thanda nganzo de ma ani da riju gi rodan jorwa peri lodan jorwa di khande yume number so ani shibda ni zule yung res ta khanda tharin di nalo la ani khurang ge khar che sha yu siri sambala andu zutele ta di japshan dwa odi sebutun sha yesta.
And this is known as an autosomal dominant inheritance because it is found across every single generation.
Da di ngazu khare sigo resu sambala luigi ngomber sevegi resist lagyo res di khare rele sambala ani di gi ani dominant ngomber seva su sambal dominant chagyo wa ani ko leba di khogi resist leba ina ani ko ngomber senge di ba yin songsa ani rab tangbu na leba ina re rab niba na leba yin ba ina re di khogi na sa de ngoy yong yo wa o tinde gi chane ani ko ngomber sevegi resist gi na sa res lagyo res.
So parents, where one of the parent has the illness, will undoubtedly give it to many of the children within the next generation, and it will be passed from generation to generation.
Chesante le sambala da tindegi ane phamani gi nano le chigle naza yunge di imba inas chig naza yunge digi ane digi rize gi ane naza dandrebe gi rize di ane pugu mambu shine ma gyudong chendu yo res ane pugu mambu shine gyudong chendu sambala ane pugu gyudong cheche ane din rap mirap ane mambu shili ya du shine ma naza den rosha yo res.
And you may be asking, well, this is a fatal illness, but is there a cure? You may be asking, is there a cure for this illness?
Ta number so ani that di ani chini re sidu sambala ani choran jo triwaji khartan singire le sambala that dile ani choto yo mare se di cha de yo res choto mare se de.
And unfortunately, even though there is no cure, right? We can't cure people with this illness. We can do many things to treat the symptoms from this illness.
Cheza ta ngazu dilia naza de bed khona ani traje de yo so tu yo mare de yimba ina ya ani ngazu dilia chik menju chik khona ge neda dan trene dilia de menju mangbu che jik de che de yo res.
So for example, we have this pair of siblings, a brother and a sister in Australia with this illness that are seeking treatment to alleviate the suffering from this illness.
Ta pena chashana dinini pinjani cha de yo resta kunini liya tanda naza de yunge de res naza de yunge dinini khona ni menju gandro de yo res so de kare res lu sambala naza de gi kanyo di chung de ta tanda la ta kange mo dunge mambu shi bi nyong go yo wa dunge de so da nyong ta tanda liya ani khona zo de menju de che de yo res.
So just remember, FFI is indeed a very rare illness in human populations, and it is found within clusters of families.
Da number so ani chi nge go khari re sidu sambala ani chidan nasa di tanda kwembu shibiji chongdu ji migin chongdu ji na kwembu shibiji ba che te ine ya ani nganzo di ani chimjangi da jubaji na lo ma jo de yu de ba di number so ha ko res.
As I said before, there is no known cure for this particular illness.
Cheza tanda padu nganzo ha koyagi endelia chotop de keke yo mares nganzo shembigi chotop de.
There is treatment which focuses on many aspects of the illness: pain, psychological symptoms, suffering, and many other consequences of this particular illness.
Ta delia menju che de karichagi yore sedu sambala digin jungre pena chashana nazu imba inare ene semge kange imba inare o ani chigi dunge imba inare da dzu dan jene ani chigi neda koran dan jene ani menju che de yores.
So patients with this particular illness may need neurologists, psychiatrists, and other specialists to deal with the different components of this particular illness.
Ta dile de sambala ani kam gale ya da nganzu ani naza digi ani trupchari mambu shibi judu sambala ani dezu thedile ya ani chotobla ani kam gale ya ani wangza gi tende kichele ba tende daga nashinji sengam gi seri ba tende daga nashinji ani nazu gi seri nazu chele ba tende ani go de ba tende cha de gi res.
Any questions about
one? Yes, one more question. Yes.
Perfect.
The Tiwa Karichasosana, Tangi. Di nima kungni nazare laurwa. Yang tanda di rigzegi nazare laurwa. Kota rigju tone pame tone nazare nima kungni ko nawe sore chama soma.
The rigju tone nima kuegi nazare lar. Rigju tone yuan yore lar.
Marda nima kungni nganzo ni gi dile ya join jabi na. Da soso chenga bena truje da dezo chene ni dile ya tata chi mache wa ina nazare dezo yong sigre lagora.
Di lagyo marda. ni tujin thiage nazadi tanji choranzo ke chen mangbu ju ngunzi che soas ina ya chigle ma sons di khalas na resident rebe ke chen dile ma sons tanji ke shesar da di khoi resident rebe ke chen di ke she yong
Matrush to the
yes
Sambo. The review ma judon cheege nazaji inarwa. Any the nange duntuki any tsese do the kazus figure.
So the question is, if this is a disease that passed down to generation.
Yes.
So what is the lifespan of people with this disease?
That's a really good question. Once it is diagnosed, usually within a couple of years, not very long.
Tadi nazadi ngusim sabe jelia ani chidan diri sigdu ta lo niz na lo chongdu yo res nazadi kora ngusim sabe da chigle sabe jelia lo niz jikda ngusim sabe jelia.
Right. So
once
it depends on the patient. Some patients may live a little longer, some may live a little less, but the quality of life certainly decreases over time, and within a couple of years, it is universally fatal.
Chezanda diyan chik kansa gesu susu le mandawa yu insarda chida nazar digi ani khashi jig yang kora nazar dongle chedang chani baina kanda ani chik yang gyuring chotu ya chida yang chik ani khashi yang gyuring mun choma tu ya jorwa tende ri kansa gesu susu re atiz mandawa nazar gi ngo ge chani baina re kanda di mandawa tis yungu yores
Gesambo yang jutu ashtua. Tadi rigi nazar she. Ani nazar di yang ngoy ni ta ko lonis ne chongdu gdwa. Ta ngoy ji nazar yang ko rigi ni yoderwa. Yode du gane nazar di ngondu juye ge chese do lose do condition ngondu jugore.
Ale okay. That okay. Okay, so this is a genetic disease that inherits from the generation to generation.
Yes.
So how long does it take to actually manifest this disease? Once the child is given the birth, and
that's
then
a good question. So, like I said before, anywhere from 40 to 60 years of age. That is where it is usually diagnosed. This is a time where symptoms usually show up. And after diagnosis, the showing of the illness is not very long. It takes maybe a few months to a year.
Soredi peje da lo chingni ma lo nis ma la gyo samare tinde na lo chongdu gyo sar ma che de okay
da dangi nganzo astronaut de zo karisna ko betugu yore larwa ko kama gubjus chela yangja de chene da de ina da nganzo se khole changjo le de ni yorwa antarctica da de zola be halam na dawasum se de samarum ne da yang da australia longole ya yang ko dawasum se be chena kong de ni 제가 건조 간대 지고래서 제가 애스트로노트 고조 잘라다네 정다 제가 다요 말베스 니
고디쿠도 장다시. So in regarding to the astronauts, the sun rise and set actually happens in every 90 minutes.
Yes.
And because of that they do have some sort of disruption in their sleep cycle.
Yes.
And how about people living in the North Pole, near North Pole, somewhere in Antarctica, and also somewhere in the Australia? They do get, the sun, light for 3 months, and then it goes off. So is it possible to send these astronauts in such region and to get trained over there?
That's a good question. I actually used to work in Alaska, so I know what it's like to have a day where there is sunlight for 20 hours.
Then gena korang pegi Alaska dosine ini lega chinyu korang pegi di chigi US and di sambala gena korang da chuzi nishurin ya bed korang nime kon chuzi da nye chuzi shin sen chuzi shiz mad me sara nime kon chuzi nishus chan rugu sarwa tindek ton di korang nyamnyu US.
And what is really interesting, you ask if astronauts can be sent to Alaska. I don't really know how astronauts are trained for changes in their cycles. Perhaps they do it in a lab, or they send them somewhere where there is a change in light. That I don't know. I could do some research on this.
Chezanda dile du sambala danzu chede ni kyorang triba chik dikhare sidu sambala navri badanzo SLS kala tane jonda tene digmarwe sidi de res ani khande jonda tigi yume di gena korange sebu shing mes khanda chik chena anu koran zo taje khana la jonda teje di chigi yu res ta di yang gena korange khande chigi yume ani nyamshi chego ere shas khanda jonda tilu tedan jorwa khande chini.
Does that did that answer the question?
Yes.
Good.
Any
other questions?
Yes, so many. I think some other also do have. Yeah.
Tana dawsum nyungun cha dawsum tsin chagi lada zambala nyungun cha sa dila nying da karsa warda di chidu ngi sabshi gi nyimo da tsime kodru di yo marwa
kodru di yo
di lada kunzu ngi kuya da ya layan di melatonin di
production
lugi yana mena di mena ya ze shimba lugi yana mena kande toni di laga chigi yana.
Yes, this is a follow-up question what the previous one asked. It has to do with the experiencing sunlight for 3 months.
Yeah.
And in these situations, since the sunlight is sunlight stays for 3 months, that will disrupt their maybe sleep cycle. Does it really impacts on the production of the melatonin?
Yes.
People who,
I know from experience when I went to Alaska, I would go there for about a month, maybe 2 months. The first week was very difficult, falling asleep when it was 10 p.m., but there was daylight, there was a lot of sun. And it took me about a week to adapt my body to this change.
Tadi gena khora imba ina alal skal roche dinde ge nyamnyu dinde US di indu sambala ta dunta chik zig gena bed khora chik ni khuyala kale khay bu shibu chong sons dile de sambala ane ni khuyala kale chong ane dile subu ge pha dil tunju droyala ta kanda dida ane komri thea ya ane dunta chik zig go sons.
So, for example, even Alaska, the complication is actually a lot more dense because you have the jet lag from the trip, which is several hours time difference, but also the change in daylight. And so you have two different factors that are messing with your clock, and it's really, really difficult.
Number so pigel LS kan do in by na ni thone danda ding anzula ni tuje the de yung de chigri kare siri sambala nganzu pha drone saja mandawa tuje mandawa kan tuje gi ko mandawa chagi orwa dig jet lag thone ching gores chigdi pigel ni me khong da ni ma chuje sha de juringa yorwa tini ni gi thone shukjen le de gi yores pigel ko juwa the gi shukjen dig juwa de length is melatonin lugina mena. So do people living in those area also releases the melatonin at
night?
Period or?
Yes, it just gets shifted, right? The body does become adapted, but the discharge of melatonin is different in those particular parts of the world. Yeah.
Complete chene ani khale chene nganju nganju dan drag marite ine lo lugu yores lagi yorda ko.
And what is really interesting is that in the winter in places like Alaska you have 20 hours of darkness with very little daylight, so then body has to adapt to that situation.
Yam se bachilia pige gonga le yan chuzi nyushi tej naman semu chagdwa di kabya ani yan chik subu thone yan chik pige neda mandawa chile ni sambar dile yan chik complete the go da di cha de go was tunju the go ya. So his question is specifically people living in the region where they experience sunlight for continuous 3 months. So there is a no day and night 24 cycle. Since there is a no night or darkness, how the production of the melatonin?
Right. So in the Arctic Circle, we tend to say that there is no night. It does get a little bit dark, certainly not dark night, but it does get a little bit dark, and your body still produces some melatonin to be able to rest.
To be able to?
But it is still produced.
다 간주 begin same na shida yungu yo marwa da kanda nagun do te sing legi yorwa da nagun sugi na karina o te dan dene ani korangi di melatonin lo ya da te yungu yo sa yeah chiba yo enjoy yo yes one more question
di tsemo space kan manyen de jido kaza jidang ki giru manyen de di nazado mixe sogore somares ani mixe ge nazado masana ya di jongda chine ya go doas ani tsena lobjon che nin la ani tsemo zedena ya go doas
manyen dige da ayo da kondo china kondo jongda
giru ngoji duksida degora ta nye de nyunyu do jiredo
so his question is related with the astronauts. You said that the astronauts actually get trained to be adapted in the situation in the space, and it seems they don't, sleep many hours as we do. So, if there is a way to, once you get that training, does it has any kind of, side effect of not, sleeping as much as we do in here? If that is yeah, if that is possible, then maybe we should get that training so that we can walk more in the night.
No, that's a good question, and I do know that astronauts have a lot of side effects. For example, and we have also gravity to concern with, not just the day, night, but gravity and other things. I know they lose a lot of muscle because of the lack of gravity and the lack of exercise. So they deal with a lot of issues that we at Earth do not deal with normally. Whether we can apply that to humans here, that I don't know.
Diris that di Quran la ani sur la ani kharse gore da chigi surgyun so do zile ya tinde nisu mambuji yung digi yores ani khunzu gi nedang du zote de anga zogi sain thenshu gi thone mandawa cha digi yore tinde gi thone ani chigi nedang mandawa mambu shuji cha digi yores yung gi yore laste tanda dodo do dirisha ya chiden chwa ju samare
daki di FFI ki nazar do ngela ti ande gyubachima 강자를 리기래 유바 가실래와 가실라 민고바 디리 요리요 마레스 디지
유바 참아나
유바 강자
So his question is related with the disease fatal familial insomnia.
Yeah.
So this is a genetic disease, so that genetic passed down to every generation, or it passed down to only first generation, second generation, then not more.
It is crossed across all the generations based on the genetics of the parents. If all parents have the gene, or because it is a dominant illness, if one parent has it, some of the children will have it for sure.
Juba chazana ma pamani koran yuba yimbaina juba nema chazan tandu yorwa titandu de sambala ani pama le yetsan joji tandanga zu rize de dominant de lena de yungu yorwa ta malenga yimane jel khunzu juba de lebaina ko le ndugo res ta tandu go res juba samalama.
And this is something that we'll look at next year when we sort of see everything from the perspective of genetics. And if I teach you next year, I'll remember to talk about familial insomnia illness in the context of genetics.
Okay. Tadi nganzo zo di lojimegi rizegi ani lobsendi dan dewa cha de gyores and then zo tene nganzo ma kapti du shigris kizi gela khora mintu ne ani rizeg gala dan da thiedi ani gegen da uji tinde cha somba yimba ina ani gela khora ge tanda di nasa dan de ne ke je ye wa zo thedi an tu den su ye tu sine de is.
So we only have a few more minutes. So before we end, I just want to point out that I would like you all to answer a few questions for tomorrow. Not now, this is not an activity for now, but this is for tomorrow.
Ani number 2, ani thang anzu kama khashiji madhala mendus kama khashi madhala medu sambala ani number 2 tanda di ani chegu khashiji du sine ngodi che chegu de sanyi gi che dure ma do chi ani tanda du go etinde ke mens.
Okay. So in this set of questions, we're going to investigate your own sleep-wake cycle with all of you.
Chezanda di thiwa di kharre sidu sambala ane digi thiwa digi ane khran zu su khanza gegi nigi khojue khan ya shimju che de res di ladu sambala ane rukha mayin bache ge samal lagyo res.
Okay. So when you go home, before you go to sleep, team up with a partner or a friend and answer the following questions, right? Now, remember, we're also tomorrow going to look at our pulse rate, the pulse, and the sleep-wake activity with the math.
제자다 number 2 di ani chidi sambala ani chorang rokba ji che di nyamdo ani pa thangdo ma phamlen che du de robot din digi res and number 2 yanju thuden sue go ji khari yore si de sambada sanyi sina na ni ga cha du yo wa an ta dang anju ani phagza da ani ning ko ju dan de begi nang le ji yo was di ani thamadi sanyi da sadawa cha du yo sadabe ka ke gu yo res ta kanda.
And the questions that you're going to be answering for tomorrow are these ones, okay? And you can find them on the link that I'm going to post on the chat.
Tanda baso ani sanyi gi tanda tiwa lendi chegwe gi ani tiwa dozo tedi tanda di cha de US and di ani kuranzo tanda nganzo pige chat na chida pige tanda Google Class na yur dige en so ni transit di tanda tangi ine so di na ngoshan digi yorwa.
Let me go here for 1 second. Let me see where I am. Let me find the chat. Okay, yeah, people are finding it already. Good. So I cannot.
Yeah, their numbers are ragudo. They're ragudo.
Oh, they're there. Okay.
They are finding it. Yes.
Okay, good. So just be able to answer these questions for tomorrow, please. And tomorrow we're going to address the responses within the class in the beginning of our class tomorrow, or not tomorrow, on Monday.
Day after tomorrow.
Yeah, on Monday.
On Monday, yes. And number so that the lendi ani sa ani davegi ngunzu ne di len to wanaro cheese and gala kono di dante ne kamisongo in the US.
So on day 5, on Monday, we're going to compare observations, right, with our pulse and wake experiments. We're going to look at the responses for this activity that I just gave you now.
제가 나는 닝아와라 단다디 nganjudi yorwas number so nganju ani ning khoje dan debegi tiwa da du te di yorwa tenju ge lenda da nganju nyamju che odi yoresti.
Okay. So be able to answer the questions. On Monday, we'll have new questions, new activities. We're going to compare the data for our pulse and wake. And I'm also going to talk a little bit more in detail about the fish caves, which was something that really caught your interest.
제자다 딩 number 2 tiwa sawa da du te de lemde che tene ani number 2 tanda ani phazagi tanda di chego da ande ne ani tanda ngaju changdo ji le yongorwa di phazu durya da di che di khale anjo gi khora tanda ngaju chabu gi nya jwa chabu na ro nya da de ge yan ni zu ani mambu shibta ji do sin shuet dos nangis.
Okay. And with this, we are officially out of time. It is 12:30. So I'm very happy that I was able to talk to all of you about these topics. On Monday, we'll continue discussing new topics. And thank you. Thank you for such a great class. A lot of really good input, people answering questions. I had a lot of fun.
Ta daring nzira de du sine dig tu ba yins ani number 2 du sine an lobri di che de pemis be gabu chonsons ani sa dawale an ju di che an ha wa do number 2 ne ani chik samju chik things about the name mabu shibi na so ani samala tu che shu yins.
Okay. So
yes,
we can end. Thank you so much. I will see you all on Monday.
Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you so much.